Just says simply right there that the Messiah's ancestors come from Bethlehem, and that's talking about David. And so, not that he will be born in Bethlehem. It doesn't say that at all. So, anyway, they come to Bethlehem, they present the gifts, and blah, blah, blah. And so the Magi go a different way. And due to a dream, there's a lot of dreams in Matthew. and so based on, I'm kind of wondering if the author is doing not a play on words, but basically doing an offshoot of Joseph, one of the 12 sons of Jacob, because he's the dream dude. And so here you have this Joseph dreaming all the time. And so anyway, based on a dream, they go down to Egypt. And so they stay there for some amount of time. Doesn't say. You just got left with a big question mark. And so after Herod dies in 4 BC, they come up back to Bethlehem, their home. And seeing that Herod's son or brother takes over, I can't remember, I think his son takes over. Anyway, they said, oh no. And so they went to stay in Nazareth, and therefore and that's how he gets the name Jesus of Nazareth versus Jesus of Bethlehem. So in Luke, it's a whole different story altogether. In Luke, they're residents of Nazareth, both of them are, and because of a certain census, they go down to their ancestral heritage place, which is Bethlehem, and which is totally false because anybody who knows Roman census stuff, they are doing censuses where they want to register you where you actually live because it's based on taxes and population. And they're not going to require you to remember all your ancestors 1,000 years back, because that's when David lived in year 3, in 1000 BCE. So, no. I mean, most people can't remember 5 generations back, let alone 1,000 years back. So, the likelihood of that is false, but nonetheless, let's move on. Anyway, so because of the so-called census, they go down to Bethlehem, and she's pregnant at the time, not married in this story, where in Matthew they get married. And so Mary and Joseph are just engaged. And so while there, because of the census, there's no room at the inn anywhere, so they find some place out in the open somewhere, or a stable. Doesn't say anywhere. It just says, the shepherds come who are out in the country also, or something like that. Anyway, Jesus was born, and they lay him in a manger. Could be a stone manger. Archaeology has found stone mangers, a water trough, basically, a feeding trough. So, and so they stayed there a month, because they go to the temple and do the ritual of purification for Mary and circumcising. Well, you can do circumcising anywhere, but Jesus circumcised on the 8th day according to Jewish law, and then Joseph redeems him. Supposedly he's the firstborn of the family of Mary, so he's redeemed with 5 shekels of silver according to the Torah. And then when they do all the ritual stuff, they head back up to Nazareth, their hometown, and so that's how Jesus is called Jesus of Nazareth. So the stories are totally different. Now here's a history lesson. I'll get back to this thing in a minute, because this is going to be a long thing. Okay, I just lost my train. Okay. Oh well, never mind. What was I talking about? Oh, about, now if you do your history, which is interesting, now in Matthew, you have Magi coming from the east, right? And there's a great star in the sky, and they're kind of led by the star, right? Okay. So, if you do your history, and okay, Matthew was written after the temple in Jerusalem was destroyed in 70 AD. Keep that in your mind. And if you read Matthew, you could tell the dude's he seems to be a Torah-observant Gentile. Why do you think he's a Gentile? Because his wording, the way he words stuff, and he can't read Hebrew. One shows proof he can't read Hebrew is the Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14, and where it says a virgin shall give birth. Doesn't say that at all there, and that in Isaiah 7 has nothing to do with the Messiah at all. It's not dual meaning like apologists want to say. Now, the word is Alma, just means young woman, so it's either the king's wife or Isaiah's wife. I think it's more of Isaiah's wife. I have to look at it again. Anyway, and the prophecy in Isaiah 7 is it's relevant to their day in like year 730 BCE. Because Ahab is worrying about Aram, country Aram in Israel, coming down to Judah and bothering them. And so the Lord has Isaiah to go talk to Ahaz. I don't know why I said before, but it's Ahaz. And so basically, and the Lord will be with him, with Ahaz, and not these two. And he says, ask for a sign. I'm not going to ask for a sign. And he says, fine, this young girl or this young maiden shall conceive. And that's not the sign, by the way. The sign is what happens. The sign is before the kid knows right from wrong, these two kings that you were worried about will be dead, destroyed, and gone out of your hair. And that's exactly what happened. The king of Assyria came down, knocked out Aram, and knocked out Israel. And that's what happened. And so the sign was before this kid knows right from wrong, which could be 4 or 5 years old, 3 years old, where he discerns right from wrong. That's when these two kings would be knocked out of your hair. So that's basically it. And is this thing still going? I got 10 minutes left. Is this thing saying? I don't know what that means. Anyway, so that's what Isaiah 7 is talking about. Now, if you do your history, now I can't say this guy's name. Let's see if it's a... Dang, what is his name? There's a historian called Tacitus, if I'm saying his name right, Tacitus. And Tiridates. Okay, there's a king in, if this is Israel, this is Jordan, there's a guy up here, basically in the Iran zone of Iraq-Iran zone, Lake Van area. And I think it's that far east. Anyway, he became king, Tiridates. He became king for a certain time, and that was a big no-no because Rome always, lack of a better word, well, never mind. Rome appointed the kings as, whatever the proper word is, basically under the emperor. And so the emperor would always appoint kings in a certain area. So if you did it on your own, you were in a big trouble. So Tiridates, I guess that's how you're saying his name, he was a priest in Zoroastrianism, which is Magi. And they came, I don't know which way I'm facing here. They're coming, I think I'm opposite on the phone versus what I'm seeing. Anyway, they go west. They go west and they go to Rome, or toward Rome. Yeah, I think they went to Rome. And the Magi was with them. And this is in the year 66. Now, this is a fact, astronomical fact. Halley's Comet was not called Halley's Comet, but they knew about Halley's Comet. And so this is the year 66, and Halley's Comet was in that year, and the rabbis in their writings already knew that it came approximately every 70 years. And so this is quite interesting. So in year 66 was the Halley's Comet, and here is this king goes to get appointed as king by Nero. And these are all magi. and they're priests of Zoroastrianism. So you can see that either he's confused or he just takes or the gospel is simply artist. Yeah, you can say it. Artist liberty of writing liberty, just making up a story to make it sound good. And so they take this